Katzcradul here. I'm starting my gooseberry-strawberry jam, and I've just put my gooseberries in the pot. There's no water. I've turned it on about medium, and I'm going to let the gooseberries start to sweat down. I am pulling the strawberries right now, and then I will put them in. I'm just giving the gooseberries just a little head start. That's not dirt on there, it's just a blemish, so I saw it in there when I was talking to you. All right. There's the beautiful gooseberries. Don't turn down free food. If somebody offers you something, their pear tree is producing more pears than they could use, get in the habit of saying thank you, take it home, and put it up. It's good practice. So let me go finish holding the strawberries so I can get them in here as well. I'll be right back. Okay, here I am at the kitchen table working with strawberries. These were some that we didn't eat that were picked a couple of days ago. They're not quite as hydrated as these beautiful ones that Prepare picked this morning, but I don't care. All they've lost is a little bit of moisture, which means it just intensifies the strawberry flavor. And these are not as pretty as the first berries we picked this summer. They're not nearly as big. One of the reasons is we've stopped getting rain, and so the berries are smaller, but these are actually a better quality berry than the first ones we got that were big and perfect, because the big ones were full of water. We had got lots of rain, and they were good, but they're not as good as these. All right, here's what I ended up with strawberries. When I put the gooseberries in, this was full to the top with gooseberries. I would really like a 1-to-1 ratio of strawberries to gooseberries, but that's just not the way it happened, and I'm not taking any out of the freezer. So we've got about 2/3 a container full of strawberries where we had a full container of gooseberries. And in this recipe, because the gooseberries are so tart, I want as much sugar as I have fruit. So I'll probably use at least one whole container of these full of sugar, and then I'll taste it. The reason I like the strawberries with the gooseberries is because strawberries have almost no pectin, and gooseberries have a lot. So I'm going to get the sweetness of the strawberries and the pretty color from the strawberries, and yet be able to get the pectin from the gooseberries, because I'm just not that fond. And I don't know what it is. I'd rather not use pectin, commercially prepared pectin, if I don't have to. And we are not a family that just insists that we be able to spoon out our jelly or preserves and them stay, maintain the spoon shape on your plate. We don't mind if ours are a little loose or even run a little bit. We don't mind sopping our biscuit or our toast or whatever in the jam if it's a little thin. So I am not going to add pectin to this. I'm going to let the natural pectin in the gooseberries and the sugar do the work for me. So I'll show you where I'm going with this in just a few minutes. All right, the fruit is pretty much cooked. I combined the strawberries with the gooseberries, but the gooseberry skins are just slightly tough. So I'm going to hit this with an immersion blender and blend it up, and then I'm going to add the equal amount of sugar, put it back in the pot until when I pour a little bit of it on a cold plate, it makes a film, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a minute. I'm just going to hit this, just smooth it out a little bit. I'll finish that up and return it to the pot, and I'll come back in a minute. All right, I'm thinking the jam is just about ready to come out. When it starts foaming like that, it's just about ready. You can put a little tiny bit of butter in there, a teaspoon or so, and keep it from foaming up, but I don't mind that. So I'm going to drizzle a little on my plate, kind of in a line like that. Let it sit for just a second. Then I'm going to turn it up to check the viscosity of it, how much it's running. Let it sit another minute. I'm going to turn it the other way. And that's what I'm hoping to see, that a line drawn through it will stay. That's about as thick as I want it. It's perfect. Let's give little Prepare, the camera person, a test. What do you think?
I think it's delicious.
Okay, so I'm going to start putting it in jars. Look at this color. Look at this color. It's just beautiful. You've got the little tiny gooseberry seeds in there for texture, the strawberries for sweetness. It's just beautiful. I'm going to get it canned up and show you where we go from there. I generally work about 3 jars at a time. When I get 3 done, then I go ahead and show over here, Peppery. I take the 4th one out of the canner. Okay, come back over here. And then, I guess light would be good. Okay. And then I take my funnel out of the 3rd one I filled, carefully put it into that empty one, and then I'm wiping every rim. I've already done the other 2. I can feel a little sticky on the outside. I'm not worrying about that. It'll come off in the water bath canner. I usually try to lift the lid and the ring at the same time. This one slipped off. Here we go. I have an edge of my towel to hold on as I screw it down, and then I place it over here in the canner. And you might want to use a jar lifter if you're not used to touching these. See, there was some jam on that jar. Use your old dish towel. Save a stack of them for candy because you will stain them, especially if you're doing something like rhubarb or berries or tomato sauce. Well, that one slipped off too.
Something with a really dark color.
Yep. Okay, here we go. There's the next one. I hold it with the edge of the towel, screw it down, place it in my canner. And I can see these are getting cloudy here, so I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of vinegar to my water as these go down. Here's the last one of the set of 3. Here's the lid. Whoops. You want to be sure and wipe the rim before you put the ring on so that you get a good seal. This one's going down in the canner. What I do is I pull my jars up using this lifter so that all the jars are still filled with boiling water. I take them out 3 at a time to fill, and as soon as I get them filled, I set them back in here so at least they're being heated by the steam, and I'm keeping the heat up in those jars. I don't want any to crack. So I'm going to keep on until I get as many done as I have jam for, and I'll show you before I put them down in the kettle. Alright, I'm going to put a little splash of vinegar in the water here. Just a little bit, a couple of tablespoons. I'm going to carefully set my jars down into the water. Yep. Let me get my lid. I'm going to wait for it to come to a rolling boil and then process it between 10 and 15 minutes. I'll put in the notes below exactly how long you should do it. I sterilized 12 half-pint jars, so you can see there are 2 left, which means there's 10 in the canner, which is awesome for free food. I'm going to have some delicious jam. Here's what's left. Don't be a Scrooge. Save out a jar for your family. They will resent the process less, all the effort that it takes to can in your home, all the washing of dishes and pots and all that, if you save some out instead of saying it's all going into food storage. This is what I thought was just the dregs at the bottom. I'll be able to screw a lid on it. We can have it for breakfast in the morning. I will tell you, you can see right here, without any pectin, it sheets just beautifully. It's forming a skin on the top, and this has only been out of the pot for about 30 seconds. No pectin needed, in my opinion. And although we're not going to cook up a piece of toast right now because I just ate the last heel, what do you think, Prep-Ray, about it?
It's delicious. I love a little bit of tart from the gooseberries and the sweetness from the strawberries. It's awesome.
It is outstanding. It reminds me of rhubarb jam. I hope you try it. Katzcradul and
Prep-Ray.